people like me. You need people like me so you can point your f***ing fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Welcome to the mother relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. The continued back and forth between the champions, Alicia Baumgardner and Clarissa Shields. Alicia posted a communique between herself and Clarissa, highlighting her desire to face Clarissa at 147. She said again, her words, not mine, she know I'll smoke her dumbass. Whether or not you agree with Alicia, do you like her chances? Do you not like her chances? That's not even really what has my attention. What has my attention is that Clarissa's not jumping all over this, that Clarissa doesn't seem to want to come down, which is odd to me because it's not like she's got an abundance of options at 168, at 160, or 154. In terms of boxing, she doesn't seem to have a whole lot of options or a lot going on. But she says, I want you at 154. What's up? Didn't she say she could make 147 for Katie Taylor? And Cecilia Brækhus, that's what she said. She continued, hey, VADA testing, has Alicia Baumgardner started her 1-year random drug testing? Low blow. She wasn't saying that before. It's curious that she wasn't highlighting Alicia's anti-doping fiasco in any of their previous riffs, any of their previous back and forths. It's almost like she's running out of things to say. That Alicia's still putting pressure on her, she's still pushing for that fight, and Clarissa's running out of reasons not to do it. She's not otherwise preoccupied. She doesn't have very many options where she campaigns. Now she means to sully Alicia Baumgardner's character by bringing up that anti-doping fiasco, saying, I'll go to 147 for a clean fighter, not a disrespectful drug cheat. She wasn't saying that before. She wasn't going there with Alicia Baumgardner, but if after all this time, Alicia Baumgardner is still persistent, she still wants that fight, she's still putting pressure on Clarissa to come down and do it, this is all Clarissa has left to say. Because she's running out of things to say. And she's not used to this. She's not used to another fighter talking to her in this manner. She's not used to another fighter being persistent and standing up to her. Having the final say. She's not used to that. She's used to being the one doing all the talking and having the last word. That's what she's accustomed to. And I think this entire situation is making Clarissa uncomfortable because there are people that are siding with Alicia and there are people asking for Clarissa to come down. They're asking for this fight. One Twitter user that goes by the name God's Favorite says, Champ, can you whoop her on the juice or not? To which Clarissa responded, she can stay on the juice at 154. Why, because you can't make 147? Weren't you the one saying that you could come down for Katie and you could come down for Cecilia and the other girls, but you can't come down for Alicia? It's the perfect middle ground. Clarissa Shields' last fight was at 160. Alicia's last fight was obviously at 130. They can meet in the middle at 147 because that's what that is. That's a middle ground. Alicia would be moving up 3 weight classes. Clarissa would be coming down 3 weight classes. Alicia would be moving up past 135, past 140, up to 147. Clarissa would be moving past 154, down to 147. We already know who the naturally bigger woman is. It's Clarissa Shields. She debuted as a super middleweight. She ain't got no power, though. What I think is that on top of this entire situation making her uncomfortable because she's not used to another fighter talking to her like that and having the last word, is that she's afraid she'll be depleted trying to make 147, that the descent will weaken her. She doesn't know if she can make that weight healthy. After all that talking for all that time, here and now, she doesn't know if she can make 147 match fit. Because she's a big girl. However, that's the perfect middle ground for a Baumgardner fight. If you're asking for the fight at 154, it's because you don't want it. She's already smaller than you are. She would be moving up 3 weight classes. It looks to be about 3 weight classes. You want her to move up 4 divisions? 4 weight classes? Don't you think that's a bit much? And who would be paying for this fight? Who would be bankrolling this show? Dimitri Salita or Matchroom? You know. So I just see a situation where Clarissa's uncomfortable and she doesn't really like this idea. She doesn't want to do it because she doesn't know if she can make that weight. Makes it stand out is that she doesn't have anything else going on. There are no other super fights at 168, 160, or 154.
So you would think that she'd jump all over this, but for whatever reason, she doesn't want to. I'll leave such judgments up to you.
As to why she doesn't seem too keen on this idea. Men's super lightweight news. I'm sure most of you have heard by now that Ryan Garcia has so obtained the old sparring footage of Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis from many years ago, and he uploaded it to his YouTube page in what can only be described as an effort to try and humiliate Devin Haney, try to get in his head and embarrass him en route to what is supposed to be their fight next month on the 30th.
A vain effort.
An attempt made in vain because the footage is edited. It's not actually the whole sparring session. It's just bits and pieces of whenever Gervonta Davis was getting in with some good shots. It's not the whole session, so it's not having the desired effect that Ryan wanted it to have. Devin Haney himself reacted by saying, "Never did they post a chopped up edited video. 16 years old in there, holding my own. We bet AB pops and he honored it and paid. Ryan, we watched you quit. We are not the same and never will be. Tune in April 20th and I'll show it."
Devin is saying in so many words that he still got the better end of that sparring session, that he still won.
But they edited his highlights out to make it look like he was getting banged up in there, like he was getting ragdolled, if he was or wasn't. The footage is from so long ago that it hardly speaks to the fighter that he is today, but Devin continued, "Floyd's been hating for a long time."
Floyd Mayweather.
Because if Ryan was able to get his hands on that footage, it has to be because Floyd gave it to him to try and humiliate Devin.
Ryan did say Floyd showed it to him.
Floyd's been hating a long time. This ain't just the start. I held my tongue for years because I respect the greats of the sport, but dude is a bona fide hater. Don't want to see nobody win if he's not a part of it. I know he sent Ryan the sparring. I know he gave Ryan those quote-unquote pimp comments to say, "Miserable old man tried to stop the fight."
Alhamdulillah.
I'm happy he's revealed himself to the world, and it's hardly a reveal. It's hardly a secret that Floyd Mayweather is a glory hog, even among his own fighters.
He wants to soak up all the limelight for himself. He can't let anybody shine.
Even the next generation of fighters, even the young guys like Devin Haney, is using Ryan Garcia as a tool, a vehicle to shade this young man and everything that he aspires to do. He's using Ryan to do it. Ryan, who said, "There's more to that tape. I'm really interested in the whole video. Plus, in my opinion, Devin was 16 to 17 years old and Tank was already developed and becoming a man."
Then why did you post it?
Devin responded by saying, "Eat a dick. Bitch, you know what you released. And why? April 20th, I'm making a highlight tape of you." If you will allow me to state the obvious. What does Ryan Garcia actually gain from showing an old sparring tape of Devin and Gervonta when you're not Gervonta?
And it's not like you beat him.
When he eats, it's not like you shit. All this shows is that you're gullible enough to be used as an instrument, a tool for Floyd Mayweather.
That's who's behind it.
Former world champion Ishai Smith chimed in saying the same, saying, "Man tells you to fight Broly and not Devin, and you back out. Man tells you to post a sparring video, and you do it. Man tells you to go on a run and whisper sweet nothings in your ear, and you eat it up. At this point, you need to wipe your fucking mouth and get the drips off." Sparring is sparring. It's nothing to brag about, to be honest, especially when the shit is years and years old. You're listening to everything the man says. Maybe you should lean more on the not doing drugs and drinking alcohol example that man set.
Yeah, because Ryan has revealed himself to be a bit of a joker, a smoker, a midnight toker.
That sometimes when we see him, he's under the influence of certain substances, which is not in keeping with a fighter's lifestyle, and certainly isn't in keeping with the man that he claims to idolize, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd didn't drink. Floyd didn't smoke.
If you're trying to be more like him, then you're off to a bad start.
Ishai Smith continued, "I don't get the disdain from that side and why they hate Devin so much. Say what you want, but the motherfucker is walking the walk and talking the talk. Everyone should be applauding him. Almost like hating, bruh. I just don't get the shit." And you know what it is? What it is that Devin Haney stands in opposition of what Floyd Mayweather built. What he built in Gervonta Davis.
Whether Floyd is still promoting him or not, he still is a part of Floyd's legacy. Legacy in the sense that he's the one who built him.
So when a Devin Haney comes along, a young talented upstart, an ambitious one, a bold one, a brave one, who stands in opposition of Gervonta.
He stands in opposition of Floyd.
And I have the sneaking suspicion that Floyd might still be involved in Gervonta Davis's career if he's all wrapped up in this to the point to where he's given Ryan Garcia footage to try and humiliate Devin.
I mean, think about it. Even Gervonta didn't post that footage.
Though he likely had access to it for all these years, he's not the one that uploaded it. No, Floyd used Ryan to upload it.
What the fuck's that do for him? It's not gonna help him.
A sobering take from Fight Hub's Marcos Villegas on the sparring video. He was 16. Like, how are you gonna judge someone who's an adult on how he did in a sparring video from when he was a kid?
You can't.
You can't judge Devin Haney as a fighter here today based on how he looked yesterday when he was a kid, when he was still in his teens and Gervonta was in his early 20s. That doesn't even make sense. Is that how desperate they've become to circumvent that fight?
They're posting old sparring videos? What are you trying to say? That because Gervonta sparred him years ago, he shouldn't fight him here today?
And you're using Ryan to do it? This does absolutely nothing for Ryan or Ryan's chances against Devin. Anyone with a functioning brain cell knows Devin is going to beat him if they do fight and Ryan doesn't pull out.
His erratic behavior.
If Floyd used Ryan to upload this footage, it wasn't to Ryan's benefit. It was supposed to be to Gervonta's, to get people saying, well, Gervonta fought him already. Gervonta beat him already, so he doesn't have to fight him. That's how it looks to me. Why else would you?
There's been mounting pressure for Gervonta Davis to face Devin Haney.
And what this footage is intended to be is a deflection, a distraction, to distract people from the fact Gervonta don't want to fight him.
Even if Turkey Al-Sheikh offers to pay for it,
Even if it's a bigger fight than the fight that he's about to have with Frank Martin, you can't get Gervonta Davis to do it. All you can do is conjure up old sparring footage to distract people.
he's a man now.
You need me to tell you that? He wasn't at 16 who he is now in his mid-20s, a two-division former undisputed champion. A lot has happened since then.
And if you think you can beat him up so easy, then go do it.
You sparred him before, right? You beat him up before, right? And when you did it for free. So do it again. This time it'll count. This time it'll be for the big money, because a sparring session from years ago, I don't see the name of Devin Haney on your record based on a fucking sparring session. So many PBC fighters' careers seem to be based on sparring sessions instead of actual fights.
Because they don't want actual fights.
What they prey on is the ignorance and stupidity of the masses to peddle this propaganda, and some of them actually eat it up, thinking that a sparring session years ago speaks to the fight and what would happen if it took place today. I can tell you, it doesn't, and it hasn't changed my mind. I still have Devin Haney taking Gervonta to school.
Maybe uploading that footage influenced somebody's opinion, but it wasn't mine.
The fact that it has been uploaded only reinforces my opinion that this is what you have to resort to try to humiliate Devin, because you can't do it in the ring.
All you can do is tell old Jim stories.
Men's super middleweight news, the latest from Chava ESPN, who says for the first time, two Mexicans competing in four-belt era in what will surely be the most expensive fight in the history of tricolor boxing and will create a sensational atmosphere. What he's talking about is what could be the upcoming Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia fight that is rumored to being very close to being finalized. We know that Canelo recently made headlines for parting ways with the PBC prematurely, just one fight into his three-fight deal.
Because they didn't want to pay him $35 million for a Charlo fight. They wanted him to fight Jaime Munguia. They wanted to essentially alter the deal, amend it.
So one might be left to wonder, why did he leave? If what the PBC wanted was for him to fight Jaime next, why did he leave if he ends up fighting that guy anyway?
You could have fought him over there.
And I told you, it's likely because Canelo Alvarez is telling himself, wait a minute, you guys are violating our agreement. You guys are violating the deal. I was supposed to get $35 million for Charlo. Now you want me to fight Munguia.
But the zone guy.
Did I just leave the zone and sign to the PBC so I could fight the zone fighters? over at the PBC?
The fuck?
I mean, if I would have known that my next fight was going to be a DAZN fighter, then I never would have left DAZN.
It's a common sense argument. Canelo Alvarez is not your run-of-the-mill fighter.
You're talking about the top-earning boxer in the sport. Do you think he has time to waste? And do you think you can waste his time with your shenanigans? Do you think he needs you to get at a big purse, a big bag? He could probably get a bigger bag fighting that same guy on a DAZN side of things than fighting on yours because you ain't even got a real broadcast partner.
It's a common sense argument. Canelo Alvarez is not your run-of-the-mill fighter.
How do you think it looks to him that one fight into your deal, your agreement, you lost your broadcast partner, you're starting up with a new one, you don't seem to have his money and can't honor the original agreement? How do you think it looks to him?
You think he has to put up with this?
He's showing you that he doesn't. Where you wanted him to fight Jaime, oh, he's gonna fight Jaime, he's gonna fight him, but not on your side of things because that's not even what he signed up for. So if he finds himself doing things that he didn't sign up for...
What does he need you for?
The first two fights of the deal was supposed to be the Charlo brothers, but you see that you fought one of them and he didn't even try. The other one, he's even less stable than the one you just fought.
I don't think Canelo actually wanted to fight Jamal. I think he just used him to get out of the deal.
Because even he knew fighting Jamal, that's going to be a tough sell. They saw how his brother just looked.
I don't think Canelo actually wanted to fight Jamal. I think he just used him to get out of the deal.
Stuck to his guns. If you don't give me 35 mil for this scrub, I'm out of here, and you can't stop me.
Heyman didn't.
Some are questioning.
Why?
Why didn't Canelo Alvarez sue Al Heyman the same way that he sued Oscar De La Hoya years ago when he parted ways with them? And the glaring difference is Oscar tried to hold him to the contract. Al didn't.
To achieve free agency and constitute a breach, he had to take Oscar to court.
Whereas with Al, he didn't have to take Al to court because Al didn't try to hold him to the deal. Because he knew that he couldn't. You can't force Canelo Alvarez to make amendments to the original agreement.
No matter how bad your fighters are looking.
It's not his problem, and it's not his fault. So when you pop up with a Jaime Munguia, a DAZN fighter, he's got to be thinking to himself, why would I fight a DAZN fighter on your side of things? For that, I might as well just go back to DAZN.
Might as well go back to Eddie.
I like him better than I like you anyway. I like working with him more than I like working with you. Relationships, professional relationships, and making an impression, that's pretty fucking important.
After Canelo Alvarez left Golden Boy, him and Eddie, they were getting along famously. They had a whole bromance and everything.
They're too disorganized at the PBC, too dysfunctional. They've got too many problems that Canelo doesn't have to deal with. Matchroom is a more well-run organization by real professionals.
Not a bunch of jerk-offs cosplaying executives.
Cosplaying business guys. I don't think your business would find itself in the predicament that it's in if you knew what the fuck you were doing. You clearly don't.
People get mad at me for saying it. That just makes me want to say it even more.
I had one broad leave me a goddamn essay in the comments section of my previous video about how I should lay off Al Heyman because if I don't, that's bigoted.
What?
That's racist.
What?
Because the only possible reason people would be criticizing Al Heyman and his PBC is racism? That's the only conclusion you could come to? Or is that the only excuse you have to hide behind?
It's not gonna work, Toots.